Firefighters near Los Angeles are trying to contain a massive wind-fueled wildfire. The Post Fire erupted Saturday in Gorman. That's about 60 miles northwest of Los Angeles. And it is already the largest wildfire in California this year. Strong winds and dry conditions are creating a challenge for firefighters trying to control the flames. More than 1,000 people have been forced to evacuate the area. CBS News correspondent Carter Evans is in Gorman, California, near the scene of the wildfires. So, Carter, wow, complete burnout behind you. What's going on there?
Well, this could be one of the areas where it initially started, Lindsay. This is an auto shop, one of the only buildings that's burned so far. I'll step out of the way here so you can see dozens of cars inside. The owner's son told me many of the cars are customer cars, so customers are going to come back and this is what they're going to find. There were hundreds of tires on site here. They all burned as well. As we pull back out a little bit, I want to show you this container. You can see how it got so hot inside. It expanded like a balloon. And speaking of heat, this is aluminum. These were aluminum car rims. Now, aluminum melts at 1,200 degrees, so that gives you an idea of how hot that fire was. They told me that these cars inside, they were completely burned in about 10 or 15 minutes. So that's how fast this fire was moving.
So I have a couple of questions. I mean, first of all, I think it's pretty remarkable that already they're deducing where it could have started. You mentioned this auto shop could be one of those places. So what do we know about that? And then secondly, I see as you're talking, this wind that we were just mentioning, kicking up this dry dirt, maybe even ash. I mean, what are the conditions that are fueling this?
So the wind is the big problem right now. It's probably gusting 20, 25 miles an hour, enough to blow my hat off and enough to fan the flames when they get going. Good news is it's a lot cooler today, so that's helping keep these flames down a little bit. As for the cause, the official answer is it's under investigation. Talking with the shop owners here, and this is all hearsay. This is not guaranteed, but it is interesting, and it could very well be true. They're saying that witnesses who were here when this fire started said that they saw a horse trailer on the freeway up there. It was dragging a chain that was making sparks and lit some of the brush on the side of the road on fire. Now, if that's the case, that is a prime example of why they tell us out here in the West to be so careful when you're driving. Don't throw that cigarette out the window. Make sure nothing metal is dragging on the ground. Any little spark can start a fire in these conditions, and then the wind is going to fan the flames.
So, Carter, what are officials concerned about when it comes to this post-fire and really the rest of the wildfire season going forward? We're not even officially in summer.
So two things. With the post-fire, it's in terrain now that's really, really difficult to get to on foot or by car. So they got to fight this firefight by air right now. But when it's this windy, those water drops aren't nearly as precise. The wind can blow the water, it turns it into kind of a mist, and it's not effective when it hits the ground and it hits in places that they weren't aiming for. So that can be a big concern as well. The other big concern is we haven't really had a big fire season here in California in a couple of years, and that's because we've had two really, really rainy years. It's great news for our water supply here in California. We certainly need it. We had lots of lush greenery around us for a while, but now it's all starting to dry out, and it's just fuel for the fire.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. All right, Carter Evans, thank you to you and your crew.
OES Intel 2-4, June 5th, 2024, 1632 hours. We're on scene of the post-incident Los Angeles County community of Gorman. Fire's been mapped at 2,013 acres. Fire's just south of Interstate 5. Hill of the fire's down at the just south of Interstate 5 where all the structures are. We'll make our way up the right flank where they've been working the air tankers. You can see the retardant in here. There was a finger right there that was wrapped with retardant. We'll make our way on up the remainder of the right flank. Hard to see in color here. We'll switch to IR on up to the head of the fire. Freeman Canyon Road runs north to south in this area to the south. And it does not appear that the head of the fire has crossed over it. We'll come back across the head. Switch back to color. Radio traffic indicates that they're going to move the air tanker operation and start building retardant line down the left flank. End of recording.
We're going to have a deficit of between $10 and $30 billion per year. That's going to be over the 3-year period, about $150 billion deficit. And something has to give. And I believe in 2025 it will happen. And we will.